Oops. Yo, what's up, guys? Oh man, I think my screen froze. Mac OS screen capture. Hide OBS from capture. Okay. So, in this stream, I'm probably going to finish up my write-up that's due tomorrow on sovereign wealth funds, specifically the Norway fund. And all right. I got Steam up. Do not want Steam to be up. Okay, here we go. Alright, so this is the write-up I've been writing about. I've been writing with. So title, I think, week 2B, Brian, Zing, week 2B. Norway model. Then okay. CD week 2B. Orto render week 2B.q. Okay, go live. Okay, this is what we could have. Paste this in here. Should be it. Right. Okay. Save page as. Save as a PDF. Wait, where did they save to? Print page. Downloads maybe? BMGT, never mind. So, desktop. Okay. No way, model. I think this should be good. Assignments. Okay, so there's also, right, so we finished that one. Now it's time to look at the Acme Investment Trust. So this is week 3A, private equity. This will be interesting. Alright. Move here. Week 3A. Private equity fund. Week 3A.QFD. Title: Ryan saying week 3A private equity fundraising. Mail. So in early 1990, wait, let me get the questions I need to answer here. From the standard arrangement, Sarah Forward Pincus. what compensation issues were being faced within this employee, which are different in a smaller, newer VC organization. Consider how much to invest in private equity versus how much to biotech versus telecom, how much international versus domestic, how much South America versus by endowment and pension fund plan sponsors, or by the asset manager. By the asset managers they hire to manage their assets. I see. I think just based off this, probably maybe both, depending on, right, because pension funds, they have their own absolute return asset classes, and then also asset classes for specific categories of equity or debt, like emerging markets. Maybe also right. Private equity versus venture capital, right? Considering investment in the sixth partnership organized by EM, Warburg, Pincus & Co., Trust Employee Pension Fund of Acme Corporation and Management $7 billion pension fund from 3% to 6%, $2 billion mega fund. This fund, about 50% larger than the organization's 1989 fund. They were raised by private equity organization. Sacrosanct. What does sacrosanct mean? Okay, regarded as too important or valuable to be interfered with. So this is kind of the golden standard. Established 19, New York in 1939 by 38 by Eric Warburg. Warburg was a member of one of the most illustrious German Jewish families. She played an integral role in Germany's financial life for several centuries. Eric's father, Max, had been an advisor to Kaiser Wilhelm, a participant in the Versailles Peace Conference at the end of the First World War, and the head of the powerful Hamburg Bank. He met Warburg & Co. Nonetheless, the Warburg family was forced to flee Germany in 1938 in the face of Nazi persecution. Providing investment services to his German-American clientele. Eric Warburg returned from service as an intelligence officer in the Army Air Force during World War II. The firm expanded into investment banking activities, participating in underwriting syndicates. Loan syndicates probably. Its prominence in the past few years, however, is eclipsed by the S.G. Warburg Co. London Bank, founded by Eric's cousins, Sigmund. Most of Sigmund. A.M. Warburg found it difficult to broaden his clients in his investment banking activities. In 1966, these concerns led Eric Warburg to sell a half interest in the New York firm to 34-year-old Lionel Pincus, MBA from Columbia University. Instead of entering his family's Philadelphia apparel retailing and real estate business, he joined the small investment bank Ladenburg Thalheim & Co. Much of his activity there involved investing wealthy families' money, typically about $1 billion each deal, in small private firms. At age 29, Pincus was made partner and head of the bank's corporate finance activities. In 1964, he had left Ladenburg to found Lionel Pincus & Co. Pincus' experience persuaded him with greater opportunities. The opportunities presented by investing in private firms. At the same time, he realized that far greater controls could be realized if the activity was pursued in a more systemic and professional manner. Shortly after joining E.M. Warburg, he recruited John Vogelstein from Lazar Frey's, who shared his vision. A team of long-standing managing director developed the same approach to private, which they termed venture banking. The firm made a diverse array of investments, including traditional startups, leveraged buyouts, purchases of major blocks in publicly traded firms. While the firm initially invested only its own money, in 1971 it raised its first formal fund. Like other private equity firms, Warburg organized this and subsequent funds as limited partnerships with a lifespan of approximately 10 years. The firm serves as general partner of each fund and the various investors as limited partners. At the same time, the firm assumed its current name. Years invested. The average return annual return between 1971 and 1990 of over 25%. This is substantially better than the returns of private equity as a whole. The funds have enjoyed a very attractive returns from quite different classes of investments. These include buyouts, including retail investments to finance industry consolidations, and startups such as U.S. healthcare systems. First was willingness to go against the trend in the industry, promotion on computer hardware and software investments, and in favor of many venture organizations looking sit on buyouts in healthcare. During the 1990s, when many private equity organizations marketed themselves as having a distinctive specialty, retained its eclectic approach. Second, the firm had been willing to build a core group of managers, while many venture and buyout funds were run with very lean staffs. Warburg Bank has had 28 managing directors by 1994, many of whom had been with the firm for a decade or longer. Third, the firm had been aggressive in raising capital. The 1980 and 1989 funds had been the largest ever raised to that date by private equity organizations. The firm had successfully attracted investments from some of the most sophisticated investors, including pension funds of AT&T, General Electric, IBM, and New York State, as well as the Harvard University endowments. By early 1994, the firm had nearly entirely invested its 1989 fund. Its decision to raise a sixth fund has been widely anticipated. It was the proposed terms of the contract that will govern the fund outlined in the private placement memorandum. It generated widespread discussion within the Acme pension elsewhere. Private equity investors are typically compensated in two ways: a share of the profits and annual fee. These two elements, however, display many variations. For instance, the way in which the fee is calculated and the time of the profit sharing often varies tremendously. The percentage of profits retained by the private equity investors is known as the carried interest. The share is noted above is typically about 20%. So 20% carried interest. Provision for the return of invested capital or risk capital plus the premium. 441 funds established between 1978 and 1993. For both venture and buyout firms, the carried interest varied from 1.01% to 45%, but the value in 81% of the funds was between 20% and 21%. Quarterly finance data will often be reduced in later years if partnerships costs will be low during the harvesting period. The fees may also contain provisions for inflation adjustments. As Exhibit 6 indicates, the base used to calculate the fee varies. While most agreements compute the annual fee as a percentage of invested capital, in some cases the value of the partnership's assets is used. Funds which use asset value as base often will also limit the maximum and or minimum fee. The number of firms charge fees not only on the funds raised by the partnership, but also on the indebtedness of the companies in which they invest. Structure was commonplace on small business and investment companies. Many of which were affiliates of commercial banks, made equity investments in firms and arranged for their credit lines. Exhibit 6 also summarizes the level of fees in the partnership's fourth year, as noted above. In some cases, the fee will be based on different measures. The typical fee is 2.5%. Of fees under management, which shows the level of fee for most partnerships. Here, percentage are lower. West Coast DR, East Coast DR, East Coast DR. It's featured based on committed capital. West Coast partnerships such as assets. Double dipping. Asset value-based fees led private equity partnerships to be very aggressive in valuing firms and to delay exiting investments. There are also many differences in the autonomy of compensation. Provides an overview of the restrictions of the receipt of capital gains by general partners. Over 90% of the funds contain some provision which ensures that the private equity investors do not unconditionally receive distributions. hurdle rate. Cost-based evaluations, first return to limited partners. Rate of the capital gain on this per time was then divided by the shares of the company. The private exit purchase $2 a share. Proceeds were divided by 80% 20. Or receive shares worth a value of 10,000. Minus 2. Aim for a fund that will last for 12 years. So receive an annual management fee of 1.5% on the capital that are actually drawn down from investors. Fund anticipate drawing down these funds fairly evenly over the fund's first 6 years. Interesting profits until in return you invest the capital to investors. Okay, so I finished reading the article. I quickly skimmed through it. I'm not gonna lie, some of it went over my head. I think I'm having a hard time focusing, so I'm gonna take 3 or 4 minutes, just close my eyes, rest a little bit, and then get back to it eventually. Back. Set a timer real quick. Okay, I have awoken. Oh my god. Alright.
What?
Hello?
What happened?
I took a nap for a second after I read through some of my homework. Yeah, I couldn't focus. Yeah. I'm still streaming though.
Have fun.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye. Where's the sheriff profits? Inside. Pub Adventure. Median 23. median by 2 points. Value. All-star ends. What's that? Start out. Oh yeah. Cambridge Euros. Percentage of profits retained by venture capital. So a lot of 20. Okay. Let's see. 20. Second panel indicates the correlation coefficient between. Slight correlation between size of organization and percentage of profits. Capital under management or net asset value. Okay. Less cost basis of distributions, percentages, 3.5% or higher. Two and a half percent. Okay. Okay, so I think this one it's not super clear with yeah, it's not super clear with this what my readings. Standard arrangement is round. Data structure for compensation usually follows the 2-20 rule. Capital under management, 20% of profits. Okay, I guess 20-20 80 rule. %. Profits/funds go to the limited partners. So these are investors. 20% of profits/funds go to the general partner. Fund manager. Warburg Pincus proposed a new fee structure of 85%, 15-85 splits. That allocates limited partners 85% of profits for the I think it's possible that Warburg Pincus might have thought equity flows were increasing funds vested in private equity. Increasing to the points of diminishing returns, and so to protect the returns of the limited partners, the fund fee structure is fees are reduced for Warburg Pincus. It's important should note that the annual management fee increased from 1% to for its new fund. Some partners. It's possible that Warburg Pincus might have a brother. Initial returns. So to protect the returns of the limited partners, the fees are reduced. So willing to take on lower fees. I should note that the annual management fee to 1.5% helps soften the helps soften the reduction in fees for Warburg. Why is there a comma in the name? Okay. How would David Swenson Yale's investing evaluate Yale's investing? I think David Swenson would. Pay close attention to the fee structure that Warburg Pincus for its new fund when making its thanks to your fee structure. And then the new fee structure is CL attractive opportunity compared to pure funds that mostly take 20% of the profits. Swenson also evaluates the history of the firm and past funds that Pincus has managed, and I think that few things would stand out. The first being that Pincus has a willingness to go against trends in the industry. Eclectic, what does eclectic mean? Specialize. Call this carried interest. Warburg Pincus has more employees to compensate. More employees compared to smaller, newer VCs organizations, and so it probably has higher compensation expenses. Likely leads to higher compensation expenses. So funds. So this likely causes issues where fund needs to charge a higher percent of capital under management if both firms are raising a fund with the same amount management. Warburg Pincus and a smaller firm are in order to cover compensation costs for its employees. Yeah. I think that's asset allocation decisions are both should be made by both the plan sponsors themselves and the asset managers they hire. The top level plan sponsors should have an idea of what their target allocations are for different asset classes. PE, VC, hedge funds. These decisions have likely have the biggest impact on returns. Same with the decision to invest in emerging versus developed economies. Also, arguably an important predictor. Important factor for future returns. Is also an important factor. so it can choose managers that specialize in asset classes, geographies. Investment managers should focus on more micro decisions, like the industries to invest in, countries to invest in. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't consider different asset classes to invest in as well, especially if a plan sponsor has an absolute return asset class. Of managers. Okay. I think it's pretty good. Especially so this is the mid 1980s. Specifically counts my venture economics. Interesting notes. Two notes. Not included in write-up. Assets, value-based fees-led private equity partnerships to be very aggressive in valuing firms to delayed exiting investments. first return to the Luna partners. $2 plus. Okay. I see. Mid-1980s. Specialize in a specific industry. Here is more widespread than more general, but has a more general view of the targets. Lastly, brothers Rooney, Alex Prince, Vines. Deutsche Bank. Baltimore. Lastly, Warburg Pincus has a very exclusive list of clientele. Very Lastly, Warburg Pincus has a very exclusive list of clientele that's of big investors like Harvard, institutional investors like Harvard, Harvard, GM, IBM. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, yeah, it's pretty good. All right, I think that's good for the week 2. Week 3A, actually, this is week 3. Okay, nice. Okay, so this is pretty good. I think what I'm gonna do now is probably work on my deep learning homework again, because it's due on Tuesday and I'm almost done. I need to compute a few more derivatives. I think I should be good there. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right now and then pick this back up pretty soon for the deep learning homework. Alright, see ya.